It almost killed the Pilgrims. Yeah, socialism. It did. You're right. The week of Thanksgiving, Rush Limbaugh, when he was alive, he would tell the story, the whole story of the Pilgrims. It was interesting. He was such a good storyteller. But then when I started looking into the Pilgrims a couple years later, yeah, that was totally true. And these were people again that I talked about who they had the Holy Spirit alive in them. They knew God. These people knew God. They were the people that were truly fleeing religious persecution. And they came not in a fancy way. They came in a dirty ship that, they were putting their life on the line, and many of them died coming here. So these were everything was about God with them. And yes, it almost killed them, socialism. And yet these were people that were truly faith-filled people. And that's how dangerous socialism is. That's what's happening right now too, is socialism kills innovation, it kills motivation, it kills, I've always been a psych nurse, okay, because that's what I wanted to do. And yet there's no because of the corporate hungry beast of monopolies of hospitals and then the very associations of nursing that serve the big money. That's who they serve. They don't serve their members. They serve corporate. They serve the biggest money bitches of all at the UN. So socialism drives down everything. It drives down everybody. So it's not a healthy system. Yet the way it's been presented, especially to college kids, is that no, it's about everybody being equal. That's what they did with the Pilgrims. But there was people want to, everybody has talents, and when you let people, blossom into their talent, and all of that adds to society. That's what ended up being found out about that through the bartering system, and them creating whatever it is. Some sewed, some would, teach how to do this. I mean, it's part of what happened with the Indians and the Pilgrims in Plymouth, because they did get along with the Indians, and they helped each other. So that kind of, that's what, by the time, the 1776 founders knew that. So that's why socialism was off the table anyway. Was because of the fact that it did almost kill them, because they were so depressed. There was just no motivation for anything. And look at our country right now. We have a mental health crisis that is going through the roof. And I think the people at the top of nursing associations want that, because again, they serve the hospitals. The hospitals just want more people to come in, and it's all about money. And yet you see how their socialism is killing everyone. Yet what everybody's been told is that capitalism is the problem. No, not true capitalism. We don't live under true capitalism. What we're under right now, and have been for a while, is crony capitalism. And your nursing associations serve that fucking crony capitalism. They do. And crony capitalism is all your wealthy people that have gotten their American dream and are so selfish and such dirtbags that they decide we're going to form into a big umbrella of power because we all have so much money, and then we can just control everything. That's the sickness of what power does. And that's how the World Economic Forum gets created. They can tell themselves they're about helping people. No, they're not. No, they're not. And none of this stuff is a conspiracy theory. That's what kills me. Like Agenda 2030, everything that I've talked about, you can look into it and find out about it. I mean, if you just do the first thing on a Google search, it's likely going to say, oh, this has been blown out of proportion. Then go to the WEF's, their website, go to the UN's website. I mean, the very nursing associations themselves have talked about Agenda 2030 some 10, 15 years ago, and about bringing in migrant nurses. So, migrating nurses. So these people all serve the same sick agenda, and yet they tell these college kids that socialism is the fair system. No, socialism is the system that kills everything. And then once it kills everything, that's how communism is able to come in. That's why it ends up always, communism follows it, because it kills everything. And so our founders, they were way more brilliant than the people that we have today that people call experts. I mean, the very fact that people don't understand that there's a difference between what our founders saw as capitalism and we're not living under the free enterprise capitalist system. The true capitalist system that our founders envisioned was one where everybody would be able to blossom. But when you get all these people that have achieved their American dream, all these CEOs, and then they all merge together, and your hospital systems all merge together, all the power hungry merge together, then what they become is nothing but a disgusting animal. And they're just sick. I've always wanted to be a psych nurse, and yet there's just I see it. They don't want innovation. They'll tell you, like, you have leadership will tell you, oh no, we want your ideas. No, they really don't. They really don't. They have their own agenda, and they're not interested. And all of these associations, there's so many nursing associations, and they're all racist. They are, because they serve their select group. They pick their new nurses because then they can mold them and control them so that they will take their agenda down the direction, and those nurses won't think for themselves. So it's sort of like the sorority and fraternity system. It's all diseased. It's just all diseased. There's so many people that could fix healthcare, and it's not at American Nurses Association. It's not your expert. It's people that work at the bedside that can think for themselves. Those are the people that can fix it, because there's truly ways you can make it better. But as long as you have the power hungry that are running the healthcare system and have been allowed to get away with what they do, they're not interested in making it better. So you have nothing but staff that gets hurt, patients that get hurt, patients aren't getting help. And then socialism is taking everybody more into a depressed state. That's why we have a worse mental health crisis. So when all these experts of nursing want to, look at, we need to do some study and evaluation and analyzing of why nurses are burning out. Well, it's really simple. It's because you people at your associations, you got on board with the very greed-hungry monsters that destroyed our capitalist system, and you're helping them do it. So you're not going to help anybody. You're destroying our system, no matter how much you tell yourself at the end of the night when you lay your head down, no, we know best because we have 25 letters after our name. No, you don't. You don't. Socialism is absolutely a killer to society. Whether it's in medicine, whether it's your whole country, it destroys countries. It destroys motivation. It causes economic and emotional depression. Yeah, they did almost die. And look at the death rate, our mortality rate at every level. Even the statistics show that with socialism, that everything declines. Healthcare isn't as good. Nothing is as good. The only thing that socialism works for is your people that have all merged into one big system. So, yeah, it would be a good idea to really have people that could understand our history, understand that there's a reason we did not go the road of socialism, because it was tried. And we did not want to have a country full of depressed people. But American Nurses Association and all their affiliates with them continue to push the same sick agenda. And as they do, which is socialism, as they do, the mental health crisis gets worse, everything gets worse. And yet they don't have enough insight to see how they are the problem.